Five or Flop, a podcast for the best and worst historical fiction has to offer. I'm your host, Erin.
And I'm Grace, and each week we'll be reading a different historical fiction book, or this week, talking about a lot of different books to see if they are a five or a flop.
Yes, and welcome to our first bonus episode for our season break in between seasons 3 and 4. And Grace, I think you already gave a little hint for the topic, but if you would like to share the full topic.
Yes, we are doing an overall ranking of our past 3 seasons.
And don't worry, we will not be here discussing every single book because apparently our microphones do not have enough battery life for that.
But also that would be more than 60 books. I would call that slight overkill.
Instead, what we've done is broken it into our top flops, our top finds, and top fives. And in each of those categories, we're going to be including 5 different books.
Yes. And to clarify, these are the fives that were the best, the flops that were the worst, and the finds that were the most mid.
Exactly. And I actually cheated a little because I gave a runner-up for each category. So that's kind of on me, but I'm going to be including that as well. So I did break our 5 rule. But
I'm excited to hear.
Before we get started, what is new with you, even though I've spent all weekend with you so far?
You know what? I've just survived the horrible cold that we've all been going through.
Brutal.
And I'm happy to be coming out on the other side. Actually, I don't think have we recorded since I went to Savannah?
I don't even think so.
I don't think so either. So
we've taken a long recording pause.
We have, because we are so great about getting these things done in advance.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I was in lovely Savannah for the book festival, as you all know, because we had the podcast this time last year when I went. So it's always nice to be in beautiful sunny Savannah, and we saw some great authors.
And by we do mean Grace and one of our number 1 listeners, Grace's mom.
Hi, Mom. Yes. So we always have fun.
I'm jealous. It always seems like such a good time. Plus, Savannah is beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's the best place to go in February when you live in DC.
Oh,
what about you?
Well, I have not so exciting news to share. And that is, as you can see, but our listeners cannot, I am sitting here with a hot water bottle you provided me because I really screwed up my neck on Saturday and I'm in a tremendous amount of pain.
I'm so sorry, Queen.
So, as we've discussed this season, I have finally gotten my Solid Core membership, which was a battle and a half. I am loving it. It's been great. And then this Saturday, I was stretching before class and I pulled something, pinched a nerve, did something to my neck, and then still had a 50-minute class to go. So we're not doing great today, but, we're on the mend, hopefully. And if not, I'm going to get a telehealth appointment and a muscle relaxant. So
this too will pass, but
exactly.
I am sorry that you are in pain.
Thank you. And I appreciate the hot water bottle. It is a big help.
I love the hot water bottle. I sing its praises to anyone.
It is amazing. You have mentioned it to me before, but I've never used one before.
It's not till you need it that you realize how great it is.
Exactly. All right. You want to get rolling?
Yes. So let's dive right in to our top flops.
Yes. There might be some spoilers that we're not going to give our full disclaimer this episode because we're not really going to go into every single book.
Yes. And also, I can't speak for you, but I will say I have in each category every season is represented.
I do as well. And then I think we can end the episode, and we did not talk about this beforehand. Let's end by saying which season had the overall best books and which seasons had the overall worst books.
Okay, I'm prepared.
Okay, great. Did you rank your flops in order of floppiest?
I did.
Ooh, I didn't. Okay.
Would you like me to go first then?
I would like you to go first. And how about I'll let you know if I also have one?
Okay. Then I will go. Should I just go all the way through since I only have 5?
Yes, go best to worst.
Okay. So number 5, the best of the flops, I have Mexican Gothic.
Mexican Gothic is on mine.
I think it made it here by virtue of having a great idea, which is why it's not lower. But the execution of the idea I thought was really poor. If you recall from the episode, I thought the book was mostly boring. And then also when it was not boring, it became grotesque.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And what I would add to this one is because it's so hyped, I was really excited to read it.
The letdown was the highest.
The letdown was extreme.
Number 4, The Cartographer's Secret.
Also on my list. I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, that's why it's here. It's so boring and unmemorable to an insane degree.
It was insane. I just know it was bad. And there was the dog that they named every single generation the exact same name, which did give me the great idea to do that for Fled.
Okay. So then number 3, a recent flop, Distant Waves.
Oh, yeah. Distant Waves made it on mine.
This is probably the best of the flops to read because it is entertaining because it's so ludicrous.
Oh, yeah. No, I had a good time reading this one, but it was ridiculous and a terrible book, but so much fun. I had a great time.
And then there was a battle between 1 and 2 for what I think is the worst. And this might be surprising, but I settled on number 2, Love in the Time of Cholera.
Also on my list.
The reason that it wasn't number 1 is because obviously it has literary merit.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's well read.
I just don't like it.
There's a reason why it's widely read. We just hated it.
Yeah. Like, obviously, Gabriel Garcia Marquez is the treasure of a whole country.
He is on the Colombian currency.
He put work into the prose. I feel like I just can't put it at number 1 for that reason. Mm-hmm. However, me personally, I don't like this book even a little.
Yeah.
So my number 1 flop, which has held up really through the test of time, is The Spy.
Yeah, The Spy. Her only crime was being the worst book we've ever read on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Talk about same thing as Mexican Gothic. Great idea for a book. Completely horrible in every respect.
Yes, it was so bad. Really hated it. Would love if anyone has any good Mata Hari book recommendations.
Yes, I would love that.
I'll say this now because I did forget to mention it when we started talking about our top flops. Grace and I talked about this beforehand, and we decided to leave off the really racist Dear America.
Yes, because we can't. That's just a separate standard.
Yeah.
The rest of the books that we're judging just based on their plots and their literary merit, obviously, in terms of the lessons contained within the book, like, that's the worst one. And the writing is not that great either. So it's part of this list in spirit, but we decided not to rank it.
Yeah. As you can see, all of my flops were the same because I did align with Grace on that point as well to leave it off. However, my runner-up, as you might be able to guess, Johnny Tremaine. Not good, not well executed, maybe was good in the 1940s when it came out. Doesn't hold up today.
But it's been almost a century since then. Going forward, I'm not surprised that we had a lot of flop overlap.
Yes.
I don't know that the rest of our list will be that similar.
No, I was expecting to have at least one difference for the flops, but I guess it was just the runner-up. I guess it's because I forgot how bad the Mexican Gothic book and the Cartographer's Secret book were.
Because it's so long ago.
It was so long ago. But those ones, I was like, when I was making this list, I'm like, I don't think Grace is going to have that one.
Well, I will say, if I were to pick a 6th flop, mine probably wouldn't be Johnny Tremaine.
No, I don't think it would have been.
So there we go.
All right. I guess for fines, let's do it in reverse. So I'll read through mine.
And I'll reply.
And you'll reply. And then should you have any differences, you add it on at the end.
Okay.
So again, mine are not in a particular order, but I want to start with the Royal Diaries just as a whole collectively. Ooh. I'm not going to go book by book because we read 6 of them and I'm not breaking that up. I just felt like the series as a whole, it had some better ones. It had some worse ones, kind of balances out to a fine. Like it's no Dear America. Like Dear America, save for that one book and probably some others in the series that are not great as well. But for what we read on the pod, it just doesn't hold up as well. I don't think it's just not as exciting because it can't be because it's focused on them as younger women.
You know, okay, so I don't have the Royal Diaries on my list, but I completely agree with that assessment of it. Mm-hmm. So I have no problem with that.
Okay, that's fair. The next one, and this one, I'm going to say I could have put one of 2 books on here for the same reason. The Other Boleyn Girl is what I went with.
I debated putting The Other Boleyn Girl on my list.
And I easily could have interchanged this for Bridgerton because I had the same experience with both.
Those are the ones that got our fun reading.
Yes, I really enjoyed reading it. I had a very fun time. Objectively not great. Like, it doesn't hold up in comparison to some of the other books we've read. So that's why it kind of balances out. I rated it like a 4 or something. I rated it highly. But it really is a true fine because once you balance all of those components, it just like doesn't stand up.
It averages out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you didn't have that, but you thought about it.
Yes.
Okay, very fair. The next one, taking it back to season 1, Fruit of the Drunken Tree.
Oh, I don't have that one either.
Interesting. This one I kind of thought about, and then it's like, just remembering what we talked about, there were some really good strengths in this book, and then just some areas where it fell really flat. What sticks out to me most significantly when we were trying to figure out what the symbolic nature of the Drunken Tree was, and just how
we weren't getting there.
Exactly, and how that fell so flat. That's kind of why it's a top fine for me.
Okay.
Chintu is next.
Ooh.
This was another one that I don't know. I could see how someone would rate it really highly. For me, there was just too much going on. And I just I couldn't really connect with the characters because there were so many of them that it was a little too all over the place for me.
I remember saying, I don't remember the exact percentages, but something of the time when we recorded that I was not a huge fan of the first 300 pages of Chintu. Mm-hmm. Then the next 100 pages were stellar, amazing, yes. And I loved them. And then the last 50 pages, I went back to not caring for them that much.
I agree. And my final fine, A Land Remembered.
We do not have any of the same finds.
You might have my runner-up.
Okay.
But A Land Remembered, for me, I think the nostalgia pulls it up from what could have been a flop. But again, that one had some good bits and pieces, but overall, just not good. I could see the idea of it being turned into a really well-executed miniseries.
Yeah.
But a lot would need to change. And then my runner-up, Number the Stars.
I have that one on my list.
So we will transition to you now. And then when you get to Number the Stars, we'll talk about it.
Okay. So I'll start from the bottom. My 5 and 4 are kind of on the list for the same reason.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about them together.
Fair.
And they are She Who Became the Sun.
Oh, interesting.
And The Davenports.
She Who Became the Sun almost made my 5s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have them on here because I think that these books didn't work for me, but they had such great potential.
Mm-hmm.
Even we've talked about them continuously. We've both expressed interest in He Who Drowned the World. We've both expressed interest in reading Crystal Marquis' later books because we were there's so much there that's almost right.
Yes.
This is her debut. She has time to fix it. So these are books that have great ideas and I was excited to read them and they didn't work out quite, but I've not fully given up on.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of these are very talented authors.
Mm-hmm.
There's just these books needed more refinement.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily agree with She Who Became the Sun because for me it worked in that one, but I understand your argument that it needed to be really tapered down with the historical figures. So I think you make a very valid argument there.
So then my number 3 is The Henna Artist.
Oh, okay.
This is another one like She Who Became the Sun where it worked for you more than me.
Yes.
I just felt like this was a great example of popular historical fiction.
Yes.
The type that has one woman on the cover and she's not facing you.
Executed better than The Cartographer's Secret.
Absolutely. There were not many great people surrounding the central character. And I just came out of it thinking this is okay.
Yeah.
I would not read the rest of them or really recommend it to people.
See, I remember saying I had wanted to read the rest of them at the time. Now that it's been a while since we've read it, I don't really think I want to go back to it.
Yeah, it's not sticky, really.
Exactly.
My number 2 was Number the Stars.
Okay.
My problem with it is just that it's boring.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of what fine is. If something is evoking a negative emotion in you, that means it's a flop.
Yeah.
I've talked about Number the Stars enough.
Yes. For me, I have that one as my runner-up. Just because when we look at it in comparison to the upstairs room, even in comparison to other children and YA books we've read this season, or, season 3, it wasn't bad, but I think it was one of the most definitive finds for me of season 3 alongside The Royal Diaries.
It's hard to overcome the fact that there's all of this plot and intrigue going on, but the point of view character that we're reading through doesn't know what any of it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my number 1 find, I knew we would not have overlap.
Okay.
Because it's one of your 5s.
Oh.
All the Light We Cannot See.
Yeah, no, I knew that. You said in that episode, this is the most fine I've ever read.
This is still my goalpost for a book that I would rate a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't feel very strongly about the characters. Again, I love the idea of the plot. It doesn't give me a ton. The jewel-stealing Nazi who's dying is a bit too much. So I think, again, when I read this book, it does not really evoke a lot of emotion in me. So that, for me, it is my number 1 find.
Okay, that's fair. I did rate it a 5. However, it is not in my top 5s, if we want to use that as a transition point. For this one, let's go back and forth.
Okay. I think we should.
I know we're going to have one that overlaps. So I will let you start with that one.
Okay. This is the one that I ranked 4.
Okay.
And that is Codename Verity.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely a 5, no question about it.
100%. And actually, real quick, while we're here, this is probably the only one where off the top of my head, I could pick my runner-up number 6.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and share mine, and then you can share yours, because mine would be Bud Not Buddy.
Okay, that one wasn't on mine. So tell me why.
I just felt like it was so hard to like delete it from my list when I just jotted down everything and then removed until I had
that's
5.
Smart. You did this much better than I did.
It was just close to my heart.
Yeah.
And it was very sweet. And like I said, Bud is my favorite protagonist.
Bud is such a good character.
Yeah. For me, that would probably be my 6. Okay. But I think just the limitations of it being for children kept it away from my other ones.
That's fair. That's very fair. For me, I'll do my runner-up or runners-up because I lied and I have 2 for this one. I could not choose for runner-up between Violetta and the Kite Runner.
And you know what? I was the champion for Violetta, and that's not in my top 5.
That's insane to me because I thought that was going to be the other overlap we had.
I feel like my number 5 actually is kind of crazy. So we'll get there, but I love Violetta and the Kite Runner. But the Kite Runner's not in my top 5 either.
They were both phenomenal. And again, they were 2 that we read kind of a bit ago. Like they were season 1, season 2 books. And we've read like
so many since then.
I hand out 5s like candy. So I have a lot of 5s. So we've read so many that I kind of forgot about them. But as soon as I saw, because how I did my ratings is I just looked through our Storygraph challenge, which I encourage you all to join if you haven't been a part of.
Plug.
And that kind of was my reminder for all of these. And I was like, wow, these 2 books were spectacular.
So here, I'll go in and talk about my number 5 then.
Yes.
Because this is the one when I was going, I didn't anticipate it making the list. And I don't even think I gave it a 5, like a real 5 on Storygraph. But it's been so long since we read it that since then I realized, like, no, this is a 5 book.
Okay.
And it is Snowflower and the Secret Fan.
That was the one you felt bad about not giving a 5.
Yeah. And I think I gave it like a 4.7.
Because that was, and you were like, no, this is a fine. Because that was before we really figured out how we were
before we
doing
rounded
the ratings.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one did not make mine. However, it was a close call.
Yeah. I miss season 1 of the pod when we would call stuff old sames all the time. I feel like we don't really do that anymore.
Oh my God. That has left our vernacular. We need to bring it back.
I mean, no, season 4 is going to be the season of old sames again.
Exactly.
Old sames, Grace and Aaron's version. But no, that book has just really stuck with me. I think a metric between what makes a good book and a great book is if you think about it after you're done. If you think about it a lot after you're done. And I think about that book, and not just because of the terrible movie.
That movie is actually such a good segue for me because at this point, the Snowflower movie has kind of overshadowed the book for me because it's become such a joke.
Yeah.
That I forget how good and amazing the book actually was.
And we read it. The only other book that we read before that in the whole pod was Hamnet. Snowflower was our second book.
And you know what? I was so sad that Hamnet was not actually a 5 because I wanted to talk about Hamnet.
Unfortunately.
It's
however, like when they give you like a special Oscar.
Exactly.
That's what Hamnet is.
I was going to say, however, if we were to add in a most iconic book award, it would be Hamnet.
Oh, definitely.
No questions asked. Okay, so that was
my 5.
That was your 5. So we've talked about my runner-ups, Codename Verity. Again, mine are in no particular order. So I guess I'll just go by season talking about them.
Okay.
So Codename Verity was season 3, and I have another season 3, which is Between Shades of Grey.
Oh, that's a good one.
When I was thinking about this list before I went back to the Storygraph challenges, that was the first one that came to my mind.
Really?
I'm like, this one has to be on there because it is so good. I loved it when I originally read it. I love it now. It's phenomenal. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, we already talked about my 4 because it's Codename Verity. And that's actually the only book from season 3 that I have.
Really?
On this list.
Okay.
However, my number 3 could have been in season 3. And you definitely have this.
Yes.
Because it's The Book Thief.
Yeah, I also have The Book Thief. This could have been either season. Another one I loved when I read it, loved when I read it again. I've read it probably like 5 times. So
yeah. Fantastic book. We really don't need to talk about it. The only other thing that I could add is last week when I was doing my crossword, one of the clues was narrator of The Book Thief, and the answer was death.
Okay, amazing.
So it's like big enough to go into the zeitgeist that they expect you to know that for your crossword puzzle.
Yes, exactly.
So that's just a fantastic book. 100% deserves to be here.
Yeah.
And like I said on the episode, I think it has kind of crested the hill of it had its really popular moment. and then people have kind of forgotten about it.
Mhm.
And I think we need to do the work to push it into a classic.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's phenomenal. I will likely read it several more times throughout my lifetime. So,
yeah.
Great book. So that was a season 2 one for me. I have another season 2.
Okay.
The Four Winds.
Kristen Hanna.
I loved it. And you know what? I've been struggling to remember the main character's name for like 5 days now, and I still can't remember what her name was.
It started with an E, I think.
Was it Eleanor? I don't even know.
It was something kind of weird. It was maybe a nickname for a name that most people don't have.
Yeah, it was something strange.
Is it worth it to look up?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
However, even overlooking that, phenomenal book. I loved it. The audiobook, even with the really bad Italian accents, was really, really strong to me. I had a great time with it. I know you had I know it won't be on your list because I know you had some issues with some of the plot points.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. This one made me cry like every single other Kristen Hanna book I've ever read in my life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was not a 5 for me, but it was way above the fines list.
Yes.
I definitely enjoyed it. And actually, I have 2 books left, and both of them are from season 2. Season 2 has really dominated my 5s.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and again, this is one where my top 2 spots, I kind of flip back and forth. They're very close to each other. But number 2 is Pachinko.
Oh, okay.
That's the book that I came in with the most 5 about. And it might be my favorite in a way that I know I didn't rate it number 1, but you're like, number 1 is the best book, like objectively speaking, and 2 I think is my close to my heart favorite.
Okay, that's fair.
So I just will always adore Pachinko. And I haven't finished season 2, but maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see.
We were just talking about this the other night. You need to get someone's Apple account.
I have Apple TV.
Oh, you do? Oh my God. You're the one person with it.
Yeah. Thank you again to my parents. Thank you. I just haven't made it happen, and I need to work on it. Yeah,
no, I do want to go and see it at some point. I just you know me. I'm
come over here.
Thank you. I have a million sitcoms to watch.
Exactly.
All right. My final 5.
Your number
drum
1.
roll, please. Well, it's not my number 1. I didn't rank these in order.
Well, okay.
However, it very well could be my number 1. I think all of the 5s are kind of even for me.
Kind of, yeah.
Was a season 1 book, and it was Homegoing.
Homegoing
was phenomenal. I still get emotional when I think about that one, and when I think of the other book by that author that I read too,
Transcendent Kingdom.
Yeah, truly phenomenal work. I really, really loved it. It was just so beautifully written. The stories merged together so well, and that use of point of view was so impactful. God, truly a stellar, incredible book.
All right. And mine, this is probably not a surprise if you go back to the list, but mine is The Underground Railroad.
Yes.
When we ranked season 2, my end of season, this was my number 1. I mean, this and Pachinko were my 1 too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the time I put Babel over The Book Thief, and I said it could go either way depending on the day. I think Book Thief has kind of won the test of time, even though I do still love Babel. But The Underground Railroad, I think the craft of that book is insane.
Yeah.
And since that season, The Underground Railroad came out, I believe, in the top 10 of the 100 best books of the 21st century list.
Yes, which we've talked about, yeah.
In New York Times. Yeah, Pachinko was on that list. There were a few other books that we read for the pod or had pod authors on that list. But Pachinko and The Underground Railroad were the 2 that were the highest up, that both made the top. They both made the top 10, I believe.
Did you ever go and watch the miniseries?
I did not.
Okay, well.
To be honest, I forgot that it existed.
Season 2 was the one with like a billion miniseries.
Oh my God, yeah. It was the land of the miniseries.
Yes.
But yeah, I just think that the craft of that book is something that I can't ignore. In the same way that I think Homegoing makes masterful use of character perspective, I think The Underground Railroad makes masterful use of setting.
Yes. Oh, completely agree. One of the most innovative uses of setting.
In the exact same way. So I just am very grateful for having read that book, and it earns and I did rank mine, so the number 1 pod 5.
Wow. And again, that one, if I read it at a different point, probably would have made my listing.
You might have to revisit that one eventually.
I want to.
Have you read The Nickel Boys?
Oh my God, I love The Nickel Boys.
I was going to say, then I think you're good to go.
I love The Nickel Boys. Truly fantastic.
And I have a copy of that on my shelf ready and waiting for me.
Good. Well, maybe by the time we get to season 4. Okay. Honestly, I don't know. You have a huge TBR.
Oh my God, yeah. We'll see.
All right. Now, since we went through our 5s, fines, and flops, let's rank, and they don't necessarily have to fall into these, but ranking the 3 seasons.
I am fully prepared to do it, and I don't need to think about it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to come off harsh. I love all our seasons.
Okay.
But I can immediately say in third place, season 1.
Yes.
In second place, season 3.
Yes.
In first place, season 2.
Okay, well, this was not that interesting because we have the same answers.
Okay, that's crazy. I feel like when we look back on season 1, some of the books that we read, I don't mean to say that our selection was random.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like we did not have, based on the theme, like we just didn't have it was not a cohesive season.
Yes, agreed.
And I adored reading a lot of the books. Like I said, books from every season have made it onto every category on both of our lists.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had so much fun reading the bestsellers. And I think we had a lot of gems in there, even ones like Bridgerton or like The Other Boleyn Girl that we feel like were successful maybe in a non-traditional way. And the children's books were just so fun to read. But also I think they had enough literary merit to rival season 1.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
and I think with season 1, I think what we were looking for in the books we picked too, we were just getting started with the pod. I don't know if we necessarily would have included all of them. I think we would have included most of the ones we did. Mm-hmm. But I think we would have probably made some different choices.
And also we'll fully admit, just like we did then, that when we included the Cartographer's Secret, we were scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I kind of was expecting as a fine for you?
What?
Actually, no. I guess I wasn't. You ranked 7 Little Australians lower than a fine.
Yeah. It was like on the verge between fine and flop.
Okay.
To be honest, going back through, I did not have as many flops as I thought that I would. Mm-hmm. My selection for these 5 was pretty immediate.
Yeah.
And even between Mexican Gothic and the Cartographer's Secret, I feel like there's a big gulf in quality.
Oh,
I think Mexican Gothic is way better, and I don't even like it.
Yeah, no. Cartographer's Secret was like, ooh.
Yeah. Like, the fact that you and I completely agreed on the flops shows you how flop they are.
Yeah, exactly. And so in future seasons, let's pick more flops. Let's get some more flops in the table.
We can work on that.
Well, that will be our point of discussion when we finish recording, because we are not quite ready to share, at least at the time of recording, not quite ready to share our season 4 list.
No. And you'll know when we put up the Storygraph Reading Challenge.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we have more bonus episodes to go along with season 3.
And we're excited to share what our next one is going to be, because it is an activity we are also doing almost immediately upon finishing recording.
Yes. Erin, would you like to share?
Yes. We are watching the hit film Catherine Called Birdie, starring Ellie from The Last of Us, Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend, Rose from Doctor Who, and there was someone else who I don't remember.
And directed by none other than Hannah Horvath herself, Lena Dunham.
Exactly. So I am quite excited. We have our usual friend group here to provide commentary, including a lot of pod co-hosts you may remember from the Magic Treehouse, Love in the Time of Cholera, and Song of Achilles.
Yes.
And also Babel.
I was going to say, perhaps, we'll see. Kat just had her birthday. Happy birthday, Kat.
We'll see. Happy birthday.
So in the meantime, don't forget to follow us on our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at 5orflop_pod. And don't forget the season 3 reading challenge, the season 2 reading challenge, and the season 1 reading challenge are all up. They're not going away.
And I would like to go back and amend a statement I just made upon receiving a text from data scientist Ashley, who's sitting in the other room listening to us. Ellie from The Last of Us actually got the acting start in the Game of Thrones TV series. So, excuse me to Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, we appreciate your work, and we're sure that you'll do a great job as Catherine Called Birdie.
Yes, but make sure you're following us. Make sure you're participating in our Storygraph Reading Challenge. If you have any questions or, just want to chit chat, if you want to come on and host, reach out to us at fivestfloppodcast@gmail.com and check out the recommendation form linked in all of our bios.
And this is actually the best possible time to use the recommendation form because we're firming up our final list for season 4. I know that you don't know what the theme is, but it could be the book that you submit could fit the theme.
Or it could go in another season. Yeah. Because we don't have any more future themes planned and we need to get on that.
All right. And in the meantime,
happy reading!
Bye!